this.
Okay, let's try. I'm just having a look for you.
Yes, yes, we're live. Thank you, Lucy, we're live.
Oh, is it happening?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, see you soon.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I apologize about the slight delay today. I had a few technical issues and I can't even blame a Mercury retrograde because it's not retrograde. But still, I could blame, no blaming really. I think it was just one of those things. And I think it fully describes the kinds of energies that we are moving into over this next week or so. First of all, I'd like to welcome you here today. Thank you for joining our soul family. It's quite a time, isn't it? It's really a time when I think we need teddies in force because things are very disruptive. They've been disruptive ever since this whole pandemic started. But I don't know about you. Certainly I'm noticing in my clients and I'm noticing in my own life here that things are continuing to be disruptive. There's a vibe in the air that doesn't allow you to relax for very long. Yeah, you might find a few moments here and there. And for those of you who are really good meditators, you may be able to reach those places of deep peacefulness. But generally, there's a vibe of having to keep moving, having to keep changing. And we're moving into a lot of mutable energy now. The sun is in Pisces. Venus just gone into Pisces. Venus is very happy in Pisces. It's a very creative place for Venus to be. Neptune, of course, still in Pisces. So we've got a lot of Piscean energy. And the Piscean energy doesn't mind chaos. In fact, rather likes it, doesn't want lots of structures, doesn't want things to be A, B, C, D, linear. And yet we're moving to this full moon in Virgo on the 27th of this month. And the full moon in Virgo is this balance between order, because Virgo wants order, it wants the perfection of things to be just right, can't bear anything to be out of place, doesn't like not being able to find something. And the Pisces energy that just says, let go, surrender to what's happening. So we're in between these frequencies. And looking at the planetary alignments for the full moon in a couple of days' time, we've got 5 planets in fixed signs and 4 planets in mutable signs. So the fixed is just winning a little bit. But fixed and mutable are the flavor. So the fixed signs resist. They have a tendency to resist what's so. A tendency to dig their heels in and say, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to do my very best to make it work, even though I know in my heart of hearts, it's not really working. And I probably best let go. But no, let me give it another go. Let me push through. And sometimes there are occasions where you do need to push through. But sometimes as we move into this sea of Piscean and mutable energy, there are some times when you just need to surrender and let go. So we're dealing with polarity here, and we can see the divisiveness that polarity can bring in the world. The divisiveness now, I'm hearing of people, you know, if they're maybe not well and cannot wear a mask, that they are being ostracized by people who are wearing masks. that there's a quick energy to be divisive, to divide. So there's this divisiveness inside. I don't know about you, but I like to have some order in my life. I like to know where things are. I like my clothes to be ironed. I like things, a certain degree of order. But also, isn't it lovely when you get that time when you don't have to be so orderly, when you can just meander through life for a little while. And usually that meandering takes place in vacation time, holiday time. That's when it happens. Thank you, Metaphysical Mike. What a lovely desire. Invoking and declaring for everybody in the chat, and let's say everybody who watches the video, to have all their heart's desires come into reality better and more safe than ever before. So we're dealing with the transition from the very fixed energy to the more mutable energy. And gosh, I'm certainly learning that in this transition from coming to New Zealand just over 4 months ago. And instead of smoothing out, which is what I was hoping it would do, it's getting more bumpy. And that's part of the reason that I haven't done a live recently, because things have been so bumpy. I haven't really felt in an emotional place to be able to deliver a message that will be coherent and helpful. Simply because I think I was resisting in that fixed energy some of the bumps along the way. There's been surprises, shocks. I'm wondering if you're having that in your life too. I'm wondering if you're having these sudden surprises. I was struggling on, I admit, with the house I was living in, was sharing with Eckhart and Rochelle, dear ones, and Bonnie. And I was struggling away with the cat pee and various smells and drains and all sorts of things that were happening. And at one point I had said to them, look, I am going to move out. It's not working. And they were fabulous, really great, and even seemed quite delighted about it. I can't blame them, because I probably had not been very much fun to live with through all this disruption. And I started looking, and I really didn't find anything that really appealed to me. And then I thought, no, maybe I need to give this another try. I got that fixed energy in again. But when I told Eckhart and Rochelle, they were like, it was like a lead balloon, really. And they were really honest, to give them their due. They said it was better and healthier if I did find something. So my ego took some rejection in that. And off I went, and within less than 24 hours, I found an Airbnb. And the lady I saw, this Irish lady, said, yeah, oh yes, try it for a week, see how we go, and I'd be glad to extend it. So I thought, okay, nice place, clean, lovely. And I was just on the last carload of moving my stuff, and very sadly got into an interaction with Eckhart and Rochelle, dear ones. And I'm afraid my energy snapped. I feel very ashamed for the way I broke out. I have since apologized. That seems to have not been responded to at this point, let's put it that way. But what I've learned is that in this disruption, to be able to contain the frustration, I have to learn more to be able to contain it, so that I'm not snapping and lashing out. So it was what I feel Eckhart Tolle talks about, the pain body. The pain body was just, it was like a tiger came up inside of me. And then it was like, what on earth was that? That was so not how I am usually. So I've been looking at that, investigating that, and not making excuses at all, because the behavior is unacceptable. But nonetheless, looking at ways that emotions and tensions are running high. And I know I've talked about soothing. And that sometimes, as Eckhart Tolle taught, Eckhart is one of my heroes because I find such solace in his teachings. And he says this, he says, you can plan and order your life. That's normal. It's a normal thing to do. Full moon in Virgo is going to be a wonderful time to find some order. If you can. I mean, I'm having to move again. That Irish lady that I stayed with, lovely lady, she was going through tremendous grief with the loss of her husband of 56 years. And she just felt that she didn't want any people in the house. So I had to move again. So I moved to this lovely place, but just for 3 days. And tomorrow I'm moving again to another Airbnb, despite looking very assiduously for something. I feel I need my own space now. Yeah, I need somewhere where just for a little while, for the dust to settle a little bit. Yeah. So to continue with what Eckhart says, but you can order your life, but eventually disruption will come. And life evolves out of the polarities of order and disorder. And I thought, yeah, it's important to recognize that we need to have disruption in order to evolve. And goodness knows, if I have to pack that car again with things in and out and in and out, oh my goodness. But trying to see it from a different perspective. I'm trying to see that I'm getting a bit more upper body strength at carrying things and going in and out. And what it's forcing, and this is again what Eckhart talks about, is that things are supposed to go wrong from time to time. We are supposed to go through disruption. And if I can say to myself, hey, it's being disrupted, but not to spend futile resistance, time being unhappy in the futile resistance to what is. So I've accepted that it seems that I'm moving. I'm very thankful to have been in this place for 3 days. It's been fantastic, clean, lovely, light, bright, nice people, everything that I could have asked for. So I'm super grateful for that. And now let's see what the next place is. The next place I'm going to on an Airbnb is in a place called Puhoi. And when I said it to my Auntie Jenny this morning in Manchester, she said, you're not going to China, are you? She says, they have got funny names, haven't they, in New Zealand? Thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. So, and it's like things are not meant to go up, up, up all the time. Like the economy and the stock's been going up, up, up. It's not going to continue. It cannot continue. And again, as Eckhart says, nobody even dares to use the word shrinking economy. They rather use the words negative growth. But there is this polarity. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever. There is the coming down. So I can feel that, yes, I'm surrendering to the coming down. Ah, thank you for the orb you saw, Fiona. I appreciate that. Thank you. And that order and disorder. Here's disorder here, you know, the phone's going, are a part. And this is the nub now that I feel that Eckhart has really helped with, because we're in a time of collective disorder, collective disruption in one way or another. Yeah, in one way or another, we're all getting it. You might not be having it in this specific moment, but somewhere you're getting it. Kristin, thank you. So everywhere there is growing and there is decaying, and there is growing and is decaying. But the key is, and this is what Eckhart talks about, and this is very much the astrology. This is why I wanted to share it with you so much. We're under this tight Saturn-Uranus square for this whole year. And Saturn is very much wants to live in the past a lot of the time. Oh, it was so good in the past. It was so much better at that time. How lovely it used to be when we could fly and we could go everywhere and we didn't have to wear masks and we weren't in lockdown. Oh, it was good in those days, the good old days. That's very much the Saturn energy. The Uranus energy is the future, looking at the future and saying, well, things are going to get better, or maybe things are going to get worse. But there's this living in these polarities again. Yeah, and there will be this pull, some wanting to live in the past, you might notice it, or living in the future. But what this disruption does, and I've felt it many times now in the pain that I've been experiencing, I've all of a sudden felt a deeper presence. That all this disruption where I've just had to surrender and say, hey, I've lost control here. I've lost it. And in that deeper presence between the, not necessarily between the polarities, but outside of the polarities, there is a sense of peacefulness. There is a sense of serenity. In this moment, here now, with you, in the joy of being with you in this moment, with the teddies. Is calming, is soothing. Because I'm not thinking about the past, I'm not thinking about the future. I'm right here, right now with you. So uncertainty, because there's going to be a lot more uncertainty. This Saturn-Uranus, Uranus in Taurus is going to bring a lot more uncertainty to our daily habit patterns. It's going to bring a lot more insecurity. And in the past, we've looked for money to be our security. Taurus rules money. So Uranus is the disruption of money, the disruption of what we see as our security. So we've used money, to quote Charles Eisenstein, who I greatly admire, a wonderful economist and philosopher. We've used money for security. It's like supposedly the more money you've got, the happier you are, but that's not true, is it? So many celebrities committing suicide, depressive, whatever. Money is not, and financial security does not bring happiness. What money does bring is choice. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you. So that's the reason for this more, wanting more, because money brings you the opportunity to have health insurance, the opportunity to have pension, things that make life comfortable. But it doesn't bring what we're looking for on a deeper level. And the deeper level is creating a world where we are secure with one another. How we do that, I don't know at this point. Yeah, I'm still reeling a little bit over the outbreak, over the separation, over the pain, over the what's happened here in a relationship that was very dear to me, with people who were very kind to me. So I'm still grappling with that, and I realize there's learning to be done, there's work to be done. but we're being pushed. It's like nature, everything is pushing us to have to work together. Again, Charles Eisenstein, to quote him again, sadly and heartbreakingly, just over 500,000 people have died of COVID. Over 200 people who are facing starvation right now on our planet. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Molly. So we've got to get things in balance. We've got to use resources for the good of the whole. And it won't work if we continue to have exclusionary energies, excluding somebody and thinking by excluding somebody, that's out of your life. Or by having a strong military force, that you can be a strong country and you can keep others out. We can't keep the virus out, can we? Because the virus is inside of us. So whatever inside of us that is toxic, that needs cleaning, this full moon is an opportunity for a clean out. A clean out physically, you might want to detox, great time to do it. You might want to declutter, great time to give things to charity, to give things away to the needy. Great time for giving charity, especially with this full moon energy, to those who need it. But we've got to look at the world and be inclusive and create new social structures that are inclusive and not exclusive. I'm just saying this is what I feel the astrology is showing us that we need to move towards. We've already got things happening, for example, and we're moving towards this. In China now, they have tracking and systems where citizens are scored. It's called social monitoring, where you are being monitored for things that you do that are recognized as good things and things that you do that take points off your social score. But we need to look at who are the people, who are the committees of people who are constructing those social structures. And are they people from the inclusive world that we are moving towards? Or are they people from the exclusive world? I'm so grateful to be here with you. I'm so grateful for Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. She hopped online on this live stream because I've been a little nervous to do this live stream, in all honesty, because of so many things falling apart in my life and feeling as though I'm no example now. What example am I? So I've been feeling that, and I thought, no, just, Pohaya, thank you. Just get off it and share and be vulnerable and learn more lessons, more burning learnings to be dealt with. So Lucy, thank you, thank you, thank you. She's amazing. She's helping the big, she just helps this whole chat, moderates, looks after everybody, cares for everybody, our lovely soul family. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for liking this video. The more you like it, the more likes we have, the more of our soul family who want inclusiveness, who want unity, who want togetherness, who want to build these new structures can come together. Thank you, Jessie. Appreciate that. So we're being pushed, we are being forced. And just for you to know that if it feels like things are going wrong, that is meant to happen from time to time, and that it's okay, and to surrender to it. Might not like it. I can't say that I like moving this much. Yep. I can't say that I like it, but it doesn't matter what I like or what I don't like. Let me find ways to be mutable, to go into this mutable energy, the Piscean energy, to let the water and the river flow, not to let things calcify, not to let bitterness calcify inside of you, not to let past things calcify inside of you and cause a lack of movement. Thank you, AK, I appreciate that. So use this Virgo moon for cleansing, mentally, emotionally, physically. And use the Piscean energy for your creativity. For looking at the sparrow that lands on the lawn. There's a lovely thrush that appears that says hello to me every morning here. Thank you, Heather. And really, to be able to find ways to surrender to the disruption and not lose your center and not lose yourself. And to remember again to be kind. Just to be kind. I was a bit lost in the car yesterday and I've got all this stuff in the car. It's so heavy. I've got to drive super slowly. Yeah, I'm really driving slowly. So people are getting impatient, you know, and at a roundabout, I was really slow. And this person hooted me, swearing and shouting. And it was like, wow, I jumped out of my skin. So we're not perfect, but let's just see with this Saturn Uranus, things will come up for us just to find more opportunities to surrender. And with the Piscean energy, I think it's important to let your imagination run free. Imagine a world with kindness. Imagine a world where we don't have to have locks and keys and keep one another out. Imagine a world where there are no strangers. Imagine a world where there's no abandonment, rejection, depression, where there's such a big family. It doesn't matter if one or two say, oh, well, yeah, we don't want to be with you at the moment. There's another 20 who are there whose arms you can fall into, where there's no isolation, where there's no defensiveness, where we become one and we feel it. Let's visualize that world. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Let's begin to visualize that world. Let's use the Piscean energy for creativity to come forth. You might be writing poetry, you might write, you might paint, you might use music for healing. Let's use the Virgo energy to clean out, to clear out, to create some order as far as you are able to. But to remember that the mutable energy is just that. The virus has managed to mutate. Now we need to mutate in ways that will bring us together and not push us apart. So, in the words of Winnie the Pooh, when all else fails, take a nap. And in the words of Piglet, when life throws you a rainy day, play in the puddles. So right now I'm doing my best to play in those puddles. Teddy's, Lucy, me, to all of you. Let's be kind, let's be gentle, let's allow whatever needs to come up, come up. Let's not let our feathers get ruffled for too long. It may happen from time to time, but then let's move on. Let's forgive, let's forget, let's move on. Much, much love to you all, and thank you for being here today. Bye for now.